Down on the bottom.
Right down next to where it says 76%, there's a little icon. Over. One more. There.
Yep.
Alright, awesome. Alright, so I'm here to talk to you about financial independence. And Kim covered some of that already, which is really awesome. Kind of made a bit of a hierarchy of financial independence, starting with a budget, saving, investing, and reaching that self-actualization stage of financial independence, right? So why financial independence? Money for me has been a huge part of my life since I was 18 years old, and I heard two people talking about, they're both around 40 years old, and I was working at Dairy Queen, they're in the back, they're both truckers delivering bread, and they were talking to me about if only they'd saved, they wouldn't be working right now, they'd be retired. And I was like, what does that even mean? How is that possible? And so I started talking to them, and they had introduced me to the idea of RRSPs and investing. And so that piqued my interest. The next day I went to the bank and I got my first RRSPs. Wasn't a good decision. I gave my money to somebody else, and they managed it for me, and I ended up losing money simply because of the fees. So maybe I gained 2%, but I paid 3% in fees. And they don't show those sorts of things on the financial statements they give you. They just show you gained 2%. So anyway, it led me to do my own research and to find my own answers. Now, financial independence gives us a great sense of safety, which is a hierarchy need. Also, self-esteem. It can be wealth or debt. If you're in a lot of debt, it affects your self-esteem. But if you're wealthy and you're financially independent and aware of your money and in control, it really builds on your self-esteem, which is really important in today's society. It also forces us to be financially literate. Literate means that we understand, can talk, and use those words. And financial literacy is the knowledge and tools required to make formal decisions with our money. We're never taught how to handle our money. We're kind of like children when it comes to money. We hope it works out. We hope we're doing what's right. And a lot of times, it's not. And no one really ever taught us how to use our money because our parents, it was different. Our parents were never taught how to use their money either. They went and worked and lived paycheck to paycheck, and that was fine back then. Today's world, because we can borrow so much money, we're snowballing in debt. According to Stats Canada, in 2009, Canadians were spending 150% of their disposable income. So they're spending, if you had $2,000 a month in disposable income, you were actually, $1,000, you were spending $1,500, which is $500 per month in debt. And that's just snowballing. And the financial institutions keep giving us this money because they're making a crazy amount of money off of it, which is just not fair to us. So that's why financial independence is really an important topic and an issue in today's society. So the first hierarchy you need, so to speak, is a budget. Now the purpose of a budget is to give you almost a snapshot of where you're at. You look at your income, you look at your budget, you look at your expenses. How much money did you spend at the restaurants this month? Unless you really have a budget, and I don't mean a budget in the sense that it constrains you. I mean in the sense that it gives you an idea of where your money is going. A budget doesn't have to tell you how much you can spend, it just has to show you how much you spend. All right? The benefit of a budget is to help control your money and to help you make formal decisions. The next step is to save. Once you have a budget, you can start applying different methods of creating financial independence. One is to save your money, start to save your money, or start paying off your debt. So after you got that snapshot and you know what's going on, you partially desensitize yourself so you're not afraid to look at your bank statements anymore. I know a lot of people are probably afraid to do that because they don't want to see what's going on. So yeah, once you have that snapshot, you can start getting into the habit of saving. That would be step one. So even if it's just $1, it's the habit that matters. It's not saving 10% of your income. It's not necessarily paying yourself first. It's the habit of saving money in general. So even if it's just $1, putting that dollar in there, you're creating a habit for yourself. And that will stick with you for the rest of your life. And it's something that needs to be done repetitively. So even once a week, if you took $1 and you put it in a jar, don't touch the money. If you touch the money, you know you have a problem and you need to really work on that. But just get a jar, put $1 in there and leave it. And pretty soon, things will snowball. It'll become a lot easier. You'll start saving $10, $20, and it'll feel easier. You won't feel anxiety. You won't feel like you have to spend it. The other option is paying off your debt. Paying off your debt is always a better idea to do first. Now, a lot of people would argue with this, but you're being charged interest on your debt. Whereas your money, if you're saving, you might be making 0.5% in interest. Whereas you might be paying 20% annually on a credit card, which is not fair to you. And most of the times, you'd be surprised how fast you can pay your debt off. Get another job, get a part-time job, work evenings, make an extra $800 a month, and by the end of the year, all your debt could be gone. Or you could spend the next 5 years constantly in and out of debt because you're saving and you're not really paying as much off, and then you end up taking your savings and spending it and having even more debt. So the next step then is to invest. Now the purpose of investing is to make financial gains with your savings. I'm not a big proponent of investing for your future necessarily. I don't believe in retirement. I will never retire. I will always be doing something. Now what I think is important is when you have financial independence, you don't have bad debt, you have good debt. You maybe have a mortgage on your home. Maybe you have a mortgage on multiple homes. But what's important is having that money available once you've saved it to make smart decisions to increase your income. So maybe it's to start a business. Maybe it's to invest in a friend's business. Maybe it's to pursue a cause that is important to you. And investing doesn't have to necessarily make you money. You could invest your money in a foundation and support a cause that is important to you. And that in itself is a return on your esteem and the way you feel about things. So then financial independence is the hierarchy, the top of the hierarchy.
7 minutes.
Okay, so when you have financial independence, you stop living paycheck to paycheck. You'll not worry about money because you are in control, and that's the biggest thing right there. You're in control, you don't need to worry. You'll have plans and goals. You'll meet your goals because you're in control. Now when you reach that stage 2, you'll have the income to do what you want and feel is appropriate. And you won't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck. It gives you the control to develop your individual potential. And I gave you guys a handout there that has a few tools for looking into investing, budgeting, and what was it? Saving. All right? Thank you.